If you're anything like me and you have a toddler at home, you know it's almost next to impossible to do anything that requires concentration, long pauses, small parts, big parts, or anything that doesn't revolve around their little hands touching everything and asking you to show them the world. This is the struggle, and the struggle is real. A few weeks ago, my CR-10 arrived in the mail.
What are you bringing me?
I was really excited. Ben had to go to work, and I pretty much convinced myself I wasn't going to try and put it together when it was just me, a toddler, and 2 dogs. My excitement quickly took me over, and I decided that, hey, I think I could do this. It seems simple enough.
Whoa! Yeah, whoa! Huh? Whoa! Whoa!
The first thing that I needed to do was unbox. That wasn't so hard. Everything was packed pretty easily. Everything was nice and tight and organized. Things were put into boxes that needed to stay together. The frame was already put together. The unit was pretty much complete. It just needed some final adjustments and wiring.
Okay.
The first step with anything is throw away the instructions. Totally kidding. Read the instructions. I had to unbox this myself, and it was kind of daunting because I wasn't really sure where to put everything, and I wasn't really sure how to keep things out of the hands of the toddler. It's a really nice printer. It comes almost fully assembled.
Machine box, machine bottom and frame, machine vertical frame parts, the toolbox I've unloaded, and crepe paper. I don't think I'm going to need this right now. Oh.
I could have purchased something that required a lot more time and effort to put together. That would have allowed me to learn a lot more about why certain parts go where, how the motors work, balancing, and everything else, which would be great if I had the time and the patience, and a toddler with the time and the patience to let me do that.
Perfect. So I don't have to search through Ben's garage or his workshop. They sent them to me.
I was really pleased that they put some tools in with the packaging. That meant that I didn't have to scour my house to find Allen wrenches or small wrenches, and I was pretty much set with everything that was in the box in order to put it together. I had a little bit of a hard time making sure that I could get the stand to stay upright while I put the screws in the bottom. It was complicated even more by having a little one trying to grab the tools while I was trying to use them at the same time. Not to mention, the dogs were vying for my attention as well.
It's got these, I'm not sure if they're called locking washers or what, but they are flat on either side, and then they turn and fit in the frame, and then you can tighten them. So those need to go in this T area here. I'm going to do that now. This side's, yeah. Why is it that everybody wants mom's attention when mom is either on the phone or busy building a giant piece of crazy machinery?
Wiring it up wasn't too hard. I was a little confused and more nervous than confused, I think. Everything was labeled pretty clearly. X and X, Y and Y, Z and Z. I'd never done it before, so I was really timid and a bit intimidated by the whole process. But ultimately, it really wasn't that bad, and I'd probably be able to do it again, no problem, the second time around. The machine, you could order it for a UK power source or a US power source. And there's a switch on the side of the power component that allows you to switch between the two power sets. Fortunately, unlike some of the reviews I read, I did receive the appropriate wiring for my outlets in Pennsylvania in the US. So all I had to do was make sure that I had it switched to the correct power source and plug it in and turn it on. And surprisingly enough, it turned right on.
So I've been struggling a little bit with the, I guess that's the X-axis. The wire here, it's a little bit faulty, so it keeps popping out of the harness, and then it won't run the motor because it's not connected. So I think I need to glue that in place or something.
This printer has a little bit of extra pizzazz. It has these little orange tubey plastic things. You put them in the frame and it makes it a little prettier. They're like racing stripes for a car, except it's a 3D printer that doesn't move. And, well, I mean, it looks pretty, and I really like orange, so it works. After I was able to figure out the wiring concerns and what was happening with that harness, next was getting the bed balanced. And there's a trick to that. You take a sheet of paper and you lower the print head down almost to where it's touching the paper, and then you lift the print bed to the point where it gets a little bit snug so you can feel the paper scraping the print head. The key to this is making sure that you balance the bed on all four corners. It is very, very, very important to make sure that your bed is level, because what ends up happening is when the print head goes across, your PLA, when it comes out, it may get distorted on one side. It may not adhere on another side because it's too far away. And seriously, it only takes millimeters to really screw up a print if you don't have this step done completely well. Once I finally figured out that I needed to make sure that I had enough glue on the bed and that I needed to re-glue the wire into the harness, I ran a little space shuttle on the fastest mode there was just to get my first print out and test it out. It was like a 45-minute run. And I picked up the print from Thingiverse. After I've already printed someone else's design from Thingiverse, I'm off to try and design all of my own things. So here's a little sneak peek of something that I've been working on.